welcome to those who haven't been here before. Welcome back to those who have watched before. Thanks for coming again. My name is Aaliyah Langley, and I wanted to do a quick chat kind of about something that's been being discussed again the past week, really, but it's been something that's been going on for a while, and that's kind of like going to see movies at the movie theater. If you watch the Oscars, Sean Baker, who won Best Director as well as 3 other things, he used a speech to talk about, we fell in love at the movie theater. We fell in love with movies at the movie theater. Everyone who's watching this broadcast today, everyone who's sitting here today, and how we need to basically go support more movie theaters by actually going to the cinema, how we lost almost 1,000 screens or theaters during COVID in the United States. And he said it in his Oscar speech for Best Director, but he also has said it several other places where he's been accepting awards, even just this past kind of like 10-month span, but I'm sure he has beforehand. And it's something we've heard from directors and just like movie people time and time again, like going to movie theater, it's so important to have like a theatrical release. Kind of famously, Tom Cruise said, let's hold Top Gun Maverick until we can release it in the movie theaters, and some people credit that movie as one of those things to kind of like bring the movies back. James Cameron, the Avatar movies, things like that, he's always like, it's going to be in the movie theater, all these things. And I wanted to talk about it or just like give some of my thoughts. I'm a big movie-going person. I like to go to the movies like multiple times a week if I can, into a movie theater, and I watch movies often. But I think there's sometimes people talk about like, okay, there's like the big studio movies, the huge scale movies like Top Gun Maverick or like Avatar, but even like some smaller movies like Nora, let's say, which you don't necessarily have to see like an IMAX, or they didn't have an IMAX release, but it still like is a great benefit, I feel like, to see it in a movie theater, and that's kind of for that communal experience. Obviously, I feel like certain movies, like let's say Oppenheimer, last year's Best Picture winner, I think I've only watched it once at home, and it was fine at home, but I saw it in the movie theater in IMAX like 2 or 3 times, and it was just like fantastic. And then I saw like 70mm a couple times as well in the movie theater, and that's this is a recent example of a movie that's like such a huge scale. It's like you want to see it on a big screen, even if you have like a movie theater like kind of set up at home. And I have family members who have that, and it's nice to watch movies in there. It's great surround sound, great screens, all these things, but it's still not an IMAX screen. No one has an IMAX screen at their house. No one has like a big massive screen, or even so, no one has that kind of nice communal experience where you're like surrounded by strangers in a packed theater. And that's just one example. I mean, you have like Oppenheimer's one. We have Interstellar, which was just re-released in IMAX a couple months ago, which I saw in IMAX twice, which was just like, when it came out again, it was just great. I don't think what other like huge movies, Avatar, Top Gun Maverick. Think of a big movie like that, and you know what I'm talking about. I might think of some more later, but even so, going back to kind of like some movies that are like kind of like, maybe they're not like released in IMAX, but they're still like great movies to see with people. I think of Nora. I think of one of my favorite ever movie experiences was Get Out from Jordan Peele. Same with Us from Jordan Peele. Movies like that where it's like, yeah, I can watch it at home and I can still have a great time watching it on my TV, watching it on my iPad or my computer, whatever. But there's something about sitting in a movie theater and kind of being around people, and we're all reacting to a movie live. We're all maybe laughing throughout the movie, and then something shocking happens, and you're going through it together. Even for scary movies, which I'm not a huge fan of scary movies, but like, a big, nervous or scary moment comes out, we all scream together. All these things I think about, like the Marvel movies, the like Avengers. Infinity War was one of those great movies where it was so great to see it in a group of people. I remember I went with a group of friends on the day it released, and we were in a packed theater. I did the same thing for Endgame when it came out the year later, and Spider-Man No Way Home. There's so many movies where it's like, it's so great to be able to be in a theater surrounded by people, watching this thing at the same time, going on the ride together. And yeah, you could be watching at home with your family members, with your loved ones, things like that, but it's different than being able to sit somewhere and being able to, like, I don't know, enjoy the movie. Being completely focused. You don't have your phone on, and you hopefully not. Please put your phones away in the movie theaters. You don't have all these side distractions. You don't have someone asking you what you want for dinner. You're just like in a movie for some hours, just completely immersed. And I think that's such a special thing, and it's something I enjoy so much. Like I said, I try to go to the movies like multiple times a week. Specifically on this movie piece, I saw some people talking about this. they're like, when Sean Baker gave a speech saying like, it was like a tweet. It was like, me as an AMC A-List member watching Sean Baker's speech. And I thought about that, and just to recap, AMC A-List is something in the United States. AMC Theaters is like one of the biggest movie chains here, and you can pay for a subscription. My subscription is maybe like $25 a month, I think, to see up to 3 movies a week. And actually, they're changing it soon, I believe in May, to 4 movies a week, and they have some different tiers and things like that. I can link the thing below if you want to read about it. And that's been a great thing for me since I've moved to the area that I'm in now. I didn't have an AMC where I was before, but I've been able to go to all these movie theaters, and like I can go to movies more, and it's nice. But the one thing about that though, AMC is not like an independent theater. They have a lot all over the country. But I also have, I'm lucky enough to be able to go to some independent theaters now and then, especially if it's like an independent movie or a smaller movie that's maybe only released in independent movie theaters. Like, for example, No Other Land, I'm going to try to go see this week. That's in a small independent theater around where I live. So I think that's the other piece as well, because it's great to like have the AMC A-List, I know, but it's also like, it's really good. And Sean Baker noted this about, especially going to independent theaters. And he was speaking as well to the people in the room saying, do what you can to go to the movie theater. Especially people in that industry, they get sent screeners all the time. They don't have to actually go out to the theaters because they have access to it, to movies like at home. But again, I think even if you have a movie theater at your house, I think even if you have like a great setup, even if you get sent a screener, and I know there's all these things about like, these illegal websites you can like buy movies and things like that, or watch movies and things like that. I think nothing beats the movie experience. Like, the screen, the sound, the community. It doesn't matter what size movie it is. It doesn't have to be an IMAX movie. It doesn't have to be some big Marvel or DC project or a Christopher Nolan movie or James Cameron, whatever it is, or like Mission Impossible, which I'm looking forward to seeing in a couple weeks. It can be a smaller movie that eventually will be released on Hulu or Netflix or whatever it is, but it's still so great to be able to go and see a movie with people. Even if it's not a packed theater, because sometimes I go to a movie at 4 p.m. and it's like there's only a couple of us there because it's 4 p.m. Doesn't matter. It's still a great experience because you have all those other things to rely on. And me, I'm a big popcorn person, so it's nice to get a thing of popcorn and to watch and just to kind of be in there completely focused on what you're watching and having that experience. Yeah. So that's what my thoughts are on movie theaters. I feel like if you can, go support movie theaters. Get AMC A-List if you live in the United States. Maybe do that, but also maybe go to some like independent theaters if you have around you. Like I said, specifically for me, I know if I'm looking for a certain movie that's not in like AMC, I have a couple AMCs around me. I can like look up the movie and go find it in a different theater around me or other things like that. Or even if you don't get AMC A-List or if you don't whatever, just like try to go out to the movies more. And I feel like you really, once you go and like, especially if you go on like the premiere nights, Thursdays now are kind of like the premiere nights, so like a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night movie, where there's like a lot of people there, like kind of guaranteed, like go do that. I just saw Mickey 17 recently on this past Thursday in a packed theater, and people were just laughing the whole time, enjoying the movie. Such a great movie. I saw it in IMAX, but it's such a great thing, and I feel like for people who are real movie lovers, we really have to think about that, because obviously the medium is changing so much. We have all this access to streaming services and online things and all of this, but I think it's really great if you can to get these theatrical releases. And Sean Baker was saying he's trying to push distributors to kind of focus on theatrical releases first. That's what they did for Nora, and Neon did that, and obviously that paid off very well for him in the film and everything like that. And it's actually back in theaters now as well after it won its 5 Oscars. So great stuff. I just wanted to give my little two pence on the movie theater situation, and encourage you all to go out to the theaters if you haven't yet. And one more thing on AMC A-List, this is not even an ad, I'm just talking about it because I like it so much. I even have people in my life who I've encouraged to get AMC A-List, and they don't go as often as me. They only go like maybe twice a month to a movie. That's fine, because it's $25 a month, and you're basically paying, a ticket here is like $20 basically. So you're basically paying for the subscription after one movie. So look into the things that are around you, look into your movie theaters. Yeah, go support movies, go do the whole thing. All right, that was a quick chat. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.